I've been. Dreams are seeds we plant, my friend. Dusty boots, but a heart of gold. Your story's waiting to be told. Inventive journey, here we go. Through highs and lows, we let it flow. Startups rising, small but shine. Your time is now, your stars align. Cowbell ring and feel the beat. Hustle hard, don't take a seat. Every step you're blazing trails. Inventive journey never fails. Inventive journey, here we go. Through highs and lows, we let it flow. Startups rising, small but shine. Your time is now, your stars align. Inventive journey, here we go. Through highs and lows, we let it flow. Startups rising, small but shine. Your time is now, your stars align. Inventive journey, here we go. Through highs and lows, we let it flow. Startups rising, small but shine. Your time is now, your stars align. Your time is now, your stars align. Your time is now, your stars align.
Hey everyone, this is Devin Miller here with another episode of The Inventive Journey. I'm your host, Devin Miller, the serial entrepreneur that's grown several startups into 7 and 8 figure businesses, as well as the founder and CEO of Miller IP Law, where he helps startups and small businesses with their patents and trademarks. You ever need help with yours? Just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat, and we're always here to help. Now, today we've got another great guest on the podcast. Michael Timmons. And Michael started his journey growing up in Central Texas and got involved in both the computers as well as football. After high school, went off and got an aerospace engineering degree. Worked with NASA as ground control for a period of time, and then went on to work for a few other businesses, including American Airlines, among others. And then started working with a government agency on missile defense and did that for a number of years. Learned that he loved to solve problems and decided to go back and got an MBA working on that. And then him and his wife bought a house and wanted to put some solar panels on it. And the process was long and arduous, and joined the HOA and got involved with that, and led to a bit of what he's doing today. So with that much as a quick introduction, welcome on the podcast, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely excited to have you on. So I just gave just a quick introduction to a much longer journey, but why don't we rewind and unpack it a little bit and tell us a little bit more about how your journey got started growing up in Central Texas, playing football and getting into computers.
Well, football was great. It taught me a lot about teamwork, which is absolutely important. But my first software engineering job was actually in high school, working for an agricultural research center, where we were optimizing water usage for crops in a field. And so, I then transitioned out of there, went to the University of Texas, got an aerospace engineering degree, got a chance to work for NASA for 4 years in the ground control software for the space shuttle.
And
And
just to back up just a little bit, college, you
yeah,
say aerospace engineering. Now, what took you in that direction, or what made you decide to go into aerospace engineering?
I loved everything aerospace from as far back as I can remember. And so it became a question of whether I was going to go into electrical engineering or aerospace engineering. My mother was actually highly disappointed in me for choosing aerospace engineering, which kind of sounds ridiculous. Actually, when I was graduating, she's like, that was probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. But I always loved everything aerospace and just decided, hey, this is the engineering for me.
Makes sense. So you get into aerospace engineering in college, and then I kind of jumped in, but you said from there you went off to NASA. So go ahead with the
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, so got a chance to work at NASA, got to be in some cool situations, just high charge things, got to see that teamwork dynamic play in, tie into football, and make those decisions. And then it just kind of started jumping to other areas, American Airlines. I mentioned I've done some time in Blue Cross Blue Shield. I had a business for 17 years where we started out with doing national missile defense and down to
So now,
a
just
lot of
before
different
we jump
solutions.
over too many years, so we're 20 years
Yeah,
in the space of 10 seconds. So let's unpack a little bit more.
yeah,
So you went to
absolutely.
NASA. How long were you at NASA for?
I was at NASA for 4 years. Was involved, came into to a software code base that was older than I was. It dated back to the Apollo era, which was kind of interesting. We ended up converting that code base over to modern technology, and it helped streamline a lot of the um, the application build out and the things that it takes to get ready for a shuttle launch. We were able to streamline that code base.
Gotcha. So you streamline the code base, do that update there for a few years with NASA. Now, what kind of prompted you to move on from that, or take kind of the next opportunity? How'd you kind of decide to make that move?
Just I I had opportunities for leadership at NASA, but the pay is not necessarily the greatest. People are always shocked when you hear that. You see these folks doing good work at NASA. They're not being paid a whole lot. And I
Hmm.
wanted something a little bit different. We were looking to start a family, and so I wanted to be able to you know, have a different lifestyle. I wanted my wife to be able to to be able to stay home with the children, a goal that we both had, and we couldn't do that on a NASA salary. So I transitioned out.
Gotcha. So now that you have kind of, hey, want a bit of a different lifestyle as well as transition out a bit, kind of, what was that? You started to mention, but what was where did you go from there? Kind of, how did you figure out what that next opportunity would be?
Yeah, just got a great opportunity with American Airlines. Absolutely had nothing to do with the airline business. It was actually logistics problems. We did a lot of rail car projects. It was a very constrained operations research problem that we were solving for. We were basically taking the railroads have operated the same way for basically 100 years, and we were actually bringing in some technology that was going to do things very, very, very different from the way they operated. That was going to optimize rail car usage. So it just was an extremely interesting problem. That's what actually attracted me to this project. I had opportunities to go other places, but it was just such a challenging and interesting problem that it really caught my attention.
Gotcha. So now, see, interesting problem, kind of a bit of a shift and maybe a different opportunity. Now, how long did you just stay at doing in the air or doing with the airlines?
I was there for a couple of years, and then I got an opportunity to reunite with some of my former NASA coworkers that were all involved in national missile defense. It gave me a chance to start my own company, which is something I'd always wanted to do. And so started a consulting company, and um, you know, it started me on a 17-year journey with that particular company.
Gotcha. So that's, pretty good stint. So you were at that company for 17 years and kind of, that was over that course kind of was it one where, you kind of thought that's where you'd end up or retire or work your way through or get more senior leadership or kind of walk us through a bit of that evolution over that 17 years?
Yeah, that's 17 years. I mean, worked on all kinds of just interesting problems. That's really what I found was very attractive. It started off with, it was just me, and then it started. I got these opportunities to do projects for like MetLife, the insurance company. I ended up doing some projects for a Pepsi Cola distributor in Saudi Arabia. We did, different projects for just we actually had some projects for Enron, which is a whole nother set of stories there. Just the whole Enron culture. We pre-collapsed, so we were fine after. And so energy sector, just lots and lots of different types of problems. So that's just, it pulled me in a lot of different directions and ultimately ended up doing some work for the FBI and in terms of helping them automate from, paper case files to something different. So
Well, sounds like it was a great evolution. Now, I think as you mentioned a bit before, you kind of figured out or found that one of the things you love doing was solving problems, and I think that led back to you at some point along there to go back to school or to get an MBA. But maybe walk us through a little bit as to how that phase of the journey played out.
yeah, I mean, you used to hear these problems like energy sector, criminal justice to, missile defense, and yeah, and these things really have nothing to do with each other, except I then just realized I really like solving just really, really complicated problems. And but I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I grew my first company. I grew it to just it was a good size. It was a good little small company. We had 12 consultants we had out, but I wanted to do something a little bit differently, and so I decided to go back to school, get my MBA. So I was the old guy in the classroom, and I just really wanted to just relearn things and just kind of see what I did right, what I didn't do right, and kind of prepare myself for maybe the next evolution of what would come to be my next business.
Gotcha. Now, were you doing the MBA? Did you take off and do that full time, or is that alongside of a career, or kind of how did you balance
I
that?
did it. I went to work for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I was there for a good chunk of that time to get through my MBA. There was a little bit of time I was at with another company, but Blue Cross Blue Shield was pretty much most of my time during my MBA program. I stayed with them for another maybe 4 or 5 years after my MBA. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I worked a full career. I did 3 study abroads during that time, so that I was blessed enough that they let me do have some time out of the country to be able to work on my MBA and do some study abroad. So those were instrumental as well.
Gotcha. So you say you do that, get the MBA, kind of come out, been doing the, Blue Cross Blue Shield for a number of years now. I think a little bit things shifted when you went and bought a house and kind of endeavored
Yeah,
to change things up a little bit or to get some solar or solar panels, but maybe walk through
yeah,
that a bit.
yeah, absolutely. So right about time that I was finishing up my MBA, we decided to purchase a house. We had been renting the house, and so we knew what the HOA rules were. We knew I knew state law. I actually became kind of an expert in solar through a design project when I was an aerospace engineer at UT. And so I had just something I'd always wanted to do. We knew exactly what I was going to do. Had the application actually submitted 2 weeks after we closed on the house. We were had our vendor selected. We were ready to go, and we were going to be the first house in this community to install solar. And despite clear rules, despite clear laws in my home in my state of Virginia, we we could not get an answer. What should have been like a 2 week process was an 8 month process. And so I actually got strong armed into joining the board in order to get my application through. And so I've been on that frustrated homeowner side of the fence. I also have seen what the boards are seeing and also dealing with the inefficiencies and the mistakes that previous board members have made, those things that kind of get HOAs into trouble.
Gotcha. So now, so you say, okay, this should have been more efficient, shouldn't have taken so long or being so complex, get frustrated, kind of walk through, because I think that segues a bit until at least one of the endeavors you're working on now and kind of how that evolved, but maybe walk through kind of where that, potentially opened up a business opportunity.
Yeah, we started kind of looking at this, and so we started taking a look. And I approached some of my former colleagues and said, "Hey, I've seen this problem inside out. It seems like there's a better way." We were actually on the AI bandwagon before it became such a hot topic, and so it's like it seems like we could automate a lot of this process because most requests kind of fit a standard make mold. If somebody's already had this request approved in the past, this is easy. I want to maintain some fairness. If if the rules say here's what you have to do, and most homeowners want to comply with the rules, why do we have to go through a long, drawn out process? I can tell you when I was on the board, I spent a considerable amount of time about every other Sunday. I would spend about 4 hours a Sunday going out, looking at different projects, different people were trying to do. And it seems like there was a better way to not waste, six, seven members of a board waste their time, waste the time of the staff, waste the time of the homeowner while we're out doing this. It seems like if this meets all the requirements, why are we wasting everybody's time? Why are we wasting so much money? Have AI go through and do those approvals. And that's what led to the concept and the idea of Good Fences by having the AI be able to handle most of the requests and automate that process.
Well, makes sense. Sometimes when you get to deal with that problem, it presents a opportunity to solve it or to present a solution that you took you the long way to figure out and make it easier for others. So now catch us up, kind of where is that at? Kind of what is the status? Kind of and where are things headed?
Yeah, where we're headed, so where we are right now is we have released apps in both app stores. We had a MVP release back in the fall. We developed some more features that we put into the platform that led us to closing on our first few customers. We have a few customers on the platform. And now one of the things we're seeing is consistent requests for a particular set of features that were on our roadmap already. And that's what we're driving toward right now. So in about 4 weeks, we just had a big release last week. In about 4 weeks, we'll have a release for this next set of features that we are seeing a lot of customers who want to come onto our platform that are waiting for those features. That's that's what we're looking for now. We're just very interactive and asking them, hey, what do you want to see next? And trying to deliver value to that customer set in terms of what they're asking for.
Well, sounds like some they're still early on in the overall process, but getting a lot of good traction on it, and sounds like a lot of opportunities yet ahead. So it's definitely be fun to see how things play out for you in the business.
Yeah,
Well,
and
now,
the AI agents are making significant progress about every 2 weeks. It's really been just phenomenal just to watch them. Um, And so those
well,
are some of the things that we're also bringing to bear. We were really surprised at how many, we thought there would be a lot of HOAs that would be very fearful of the AI technology, but that's actually not what we're seeing.
well, that's definitely positive indicators and a good, hopefully, sign to a pathway to success. So fun to hear. Well, now as we've kind of reached the present day of the journey and even a little bit as to where things are headed, great time to transition to the two questions I always like to ask at the end of each episode. So we'll jump to those now. So
Yeah.
the first question I'd like to ask is, along your journey, what was the worst business decision you ever made? What'd you learn from it?
Okay. Worst business decision ever made. Wow. I feel like probably the worst decision we made was we spent too much on a particular tool that we were not ready for. We just we're just too small, not ready for it, but it looked great. It looked like a great sledgehammer that was going to make things happen, and it ended up being a huge waste of money.
Hmm. Yeah, and those are always hard because sometimes, if you do find that right tool and it integrates well and works well and does what is the promise and can save you a lot of time, money, and effort into developing it yourself, and vice versa. Sometimes it's, the tools that are out there. There's a reason why you created the solution you have because those tools just don't work or don't integrate how you think. So it's always one where definitely an easy mistake to make, but a great one to learn from. Second question now that I like to ask is, so now if you're talking to somebody that's just getting into a startup or a small business, what would be the one rule of thumb you'd recommend?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I would say the one rule of thumb is talk to people about it. And I would say that, as an engineer, I'm a little more introverted than not. I think I've found that a lot of founders tend to be very introverted. You got to get out and talk about it and you share your ideas because you're going to find someone that could either help you or they can help know someone that can help you. And just being out there and like I make myself get out and talk about this company a couple of times a week. I have designated days to do that, and that getting out is just absolutely just crucial for you. You've got to talk to people.
No, and I agree. And I think that, that's one where sometimes you just get heads down or you're saying, hey, that's not the thing that I love and enjoy. I love the development or I love the focusing on the next feature or, iteration or anything of that nature. But I think getting out there and, kind of, feeling the grass and kind of, or getting a feel for customers and how they're receiving it and problems they're encountering, oftentimes makes a big difference and a big impact. So I think that's a great rule of thumb. Well, now as we do reach towards the end of the episode, if people want to reach out to you, they want to be a customer, they want to be a client, they want to be an employee, they want to be an investor, they want to be your next best friend, any or all of the above, what's the best way to reach out to you, contact you, find out more?
You can certainly reach out to us. Go to www.goodfences.ai. And if you just book a demo, it'll ultimately work its way to me, and I'll be able to reach out to you and we can talk. I would love to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, you definitely encourage people to reach out, support a great business, expand their network, and if nothing else, make a new best friend. So, with that, thank you again for coming on the podcast. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Now, for all of your other listeners that are out there, if you have your own journey to share and you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, we'd love to have you. So, just go to inventiveunicorn.com, apply to be on the show. Couple more things as listeners, make sure to click share, subscribe, leave us a review, helps us to reach even more startups and small businesses to help them along their journey to success. And along that note, if along your journey you ever need help with patents or trademarks or anything else with your startup or your small business, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat, and we're always here to help. Well, thank you again for coming on the podcast, Michael, and wish the next leg of your journey even better than the last.
All right. Thank you.
The road ain't straight, it's got a bend. Dreams of seeds we plant, my friend. Dusty boots, but a heart of gold. Your story's waiting to be told. Inventive journey, here we go. Through highs and lows, we let it flow. Startups rise and small be shine. Your time is now, your stars align. Cowbell ring and feel the beat. Hustle hard, don't take a seat. Every step you're blazing trail. Inventive journey never fails.